It is 8 p.m. in Banjul, and this is GRTS News. We are broadcasting for viewers in the Gambia and around the world. Coming up in the next 1 hour, the National Association of Cooperative Credit Union, the Gambia, NACUG, holds a day's stakeholder awareness forum to strengthen the fight against poverty and saving the lives of the underprivileged. A humanitarian organization called ML Foundation prepares to fly some children to Turkey for medical treatment at no cost to the families of the patients. And in sports, the Scorpions of the Gambia are set to take on the indomitable Lions of Cameroon in the quarterfinals of the Africa Cup of Nations on Saturday afternoon. And away from home, in Ethiopia, fresh fighting resumes in the north with push to launch a military operation afar. The United States called for a meeting of the UN Security Council to discuss the situation at the Russia-Ukraine border. Well, that and much more coming ahead in the next 1 hour. I am Esa So. Thanks for joining us. Well, it is great to have you with us. We begin tonight's bulletin with socio-economic activities because the National Association of Cooperative Credit Union, the Gambia NACUG, which is the apex body of the credit unions in the country, convened a day's stakeholder awareness forum on principles to strengthen credit unions as pace setters in fighting poverty. GRTS's Louis Mendy attended the forum and he now reports.
The Credit Union Stakeholders Conference is a meeting of stakeholders of the National Association of Cooperative Credit Union, the Gambia NACUG, which is the apex body of the credit unions in the country. The meeting was convened to broaden stakeholders' awareness on the principles that strengthen credit unions as pace setters in fighting poverty. Fode Sanyang is the general manager at NACUG.
Stakeholders conference the idea is to bring our stakeholders in under one roof so that we discuss our issues that are affecting the industry as a whole. So this with the central bank, registers office, the credit unions themselves, and as long as other government entities that we deal with on a daily basis. It's important we know each other's issues so that we discuss our challenges, but as well also discuss the opportunities we have presented to the country. So at the end of the day, we want to make sure both sides are on one page and we understand each other's, and then together, because this is a development issue, together the Gambia as a nation will pull through from it.
Credit unions are generally accepted as pace setters in fighting grassroots poverty. Principles guiding the successes are shared in the PowerPoint presentation by Sekou Jabi, the first deputy governor of the central bank, include resource mobilization, networking, and training for staff. Mr. Jabi said it is important for stakeholders of the National Association of Cooperative Credit Union to understand and be able to apply these principles in running their credit unions.
Resource mobilization is key. No institution can go forward finance your operations if your resources are limited. So they need to raise the equity capital, they need to raise the deposits through their members, and even attract some donor partners that can put a very good proposal. The more earnings they have, the more financial muscle they have, and the more they can take care of their mandate to their members. It's staff training too. Staff training, these people are the ones that do the job for you. So you need to get them highly up to date. Get the records right, get it reliable, get it timely.
Good governance is also key for the viability of credit unions. Mr. Jabi highlighted in his presentation bringing out the role of the central bank as a regulator of credit unions.
And I mentioned about governance. Governance is key. Without governance, forget it. If you don't have your board that is weak, you have your other board committees that are not even punctual to come to meetings. These are issues, really.
The philosophy of cooperative is a portion of the theme for the stakeholders conference. Babakar Juve, the general manager at the Gambia Teachers Union Cooperative Credit Union, explained its relevance to stakeholders.
Operate on a set of principles that are universal. They are global, they are conventional. As a result, those who practice credit union management, credit union governance must be au fait with those principles. So this presentation is taking them through the philosophy first, because that is the starting point. Why do cooperatives exist and what has been the reason behind them from 3 centuries ago and they're still vibrant. In fact, I like saying that the leading country in terms of cooperative impact in the world today is the United States of America.
Youth's presentation also touched on the new cooperative policy that stakeholders of the National Association of Cooperative Credit Union need to abreast themselves with.
We never had a policy, so it was all guesswork. It was all about go to Kenya. You notice that in Kenya, the credit unions are contributing 40% to GDP. You come back, you want a similar thing for your country, and then you say, all right, we must do this. Guesswork. Now you have a policy that has been thought out by competent Gambians, very experienced former cooperative permanent secretaries and directors. We came together and we worked on this document, and it is a domestic document. We had a consultant from France, but the work was done by us. A policy gives a standpoint for government, and now they'll be held by that policy because the policy will guide our advocacy, particularly through that NACDA, that National Development Agency.
The National Association of Cooperative Credit Union, the Gambia, is boasting of $1.9 billion in savings, and for the management, its viability remains a priority, hence the stakeholders conference. Louis Mendy, GRTS.
A humanitarian organization called ML Foundation is set to fly some children to Turkey for medical treatment at no cost for their families. The charity was funded by one Modulamin Kamara with the aim of supporting children with heart diseases. Louis Mendy once again.
Modulamin Kamara, a young man with an ardent desire to serve humanity. He launches a charity in 2021 called the ML Heart Foundation to support children with cardiovascular disease. His first milestone is Aliu Silla. When philanthropist Modlamin met the little boy, he was struggling to breathe, but after 2 weeks of medical battle in Turkey, little Aliu is back in the Gambia, sound and healthy.
Aliu is sitting beside me here. 5 months ago, I met Aliu at OPD, pediatric OPD. I saw him, it was on the oxygen. He was on the oxygen. He was suffocating a lot. But today, alhamdulillah, he's smiling again because it's regained his health condition.
Aliu's mother, Salimatu Silla, had this to say.
Modulamin
is doing a great job as demonstrated. If Gambians support him, he will do more. Cardiovascular disease is common in the country. I don't know the cause. We need help. The country's future depends on youths, and if they are not healthy, the future is bleak.
Modulamin Kamara further explained the principal objective of his foundation.
I created ML Heart Foundation on the 18th of December 2021 to help cardiac patients in the country to go and have their surgery in overseas. Before the existence of ML Heart Foundation, I take this responsibility upon myself to help patients to facilitate their treatment to overseas with partners. I have partners before in Spain with one Maria Madrame. He's a Gambian Spanish citizen who used to help me to take patients there to have their surgeries there. We facilitate almost 30 patients. They all have their successful cardiac surgery in Spain.
Sunday, the ML Foundation is flying another batch of children, 4 of them with heart disease, to Turkey for 2 weeks. Their mothers are the escorts. MS Turkish partners will help to sustain the expenditure. MS says he can't do it alone.
Also, I have another 8 waiting patients who are on the list. Currently, I have their invitations. They are all set with me here. Maybe next week, by the grace of God, inshallah, I'll apply for their visas for them to benefit from ML Heart Foundation. And I'm calling all the government. I'm calling government and all NGOs in this country to come on board to support ML Heart Foundation, because ML Heart Foundation cannot do it alone. These are very expensive treatments that cannot be done in this country. Thinking of the accommodation, fare ticketing, the hospital bill, which is taken care of my partner in Turkey, currently. But like as time goes on, I would like to take it will be a 50-50 deal for me and them, because like they cannot take all for me. We have a lot of patients on the waiting list from Banjul, Kanifing General Hospital. All the hospitals in this country have cardiac cases.
Mariama Jallo from Birkama is lucky. Her child is part of the beneficiaries. She calls on the government to support Murlamin's foundation.
When I am talking, maybe some of these people will say, yes, they are exaggerating some of the things. But I guess you visit this RVTH hospital every Tuesday. Normally, that's the days that we have the cardiac clinic. My brother, you will see like 10, 15, 20 kids. 20 kids. They are all with this congenital heart disease. So I am appealing to the government, let them come to our aid. Let them come to our aid. We need their help, not only for me, but for the whole nation.
For philanthropist Modlamin Kamara, he will not rest until he sees a future where children enjoy buoyant childhood lives, free from preventable and curable diseases. Louis Mendy, GRTS.
Over now to a press release because Project Aid the Gambia, an international NGO, recently expanded its board from 5 to 9 members. The initiative forms part of efforts to broaden the agency's profile and increase its visibility in the Gambia. The previous 5-member board was constituted by Matthias Kettler, a German national and co-founder of Project Aid the Gambia. The board chairman, Abdoulaye Charles Mbai, Ali Tambedu of Kayor Enterprise, Michael Bellel of Sunset Beach Hotel, and Olfert Engles, a German filmmaker. The new inducted board members are Lanke Conte, the managing director of Madicon Trading Limited, a petroleum importation and re-export company; Pa Dudumbai, a retired international civil servant; Minyan Job, the honorary consul of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam; and Malik Jones, the new secretary to the board. With the support of a sister NGO in Germany, Project Aid the Gambia provides support in the areas of health, education, and agriculture. Since its inception in the Gambia in 1986, the NGO has implemented several projects in various communities, including Jahali and Madina in the Central River region, as well as Njabakunda and Bunyadu in the North Bank region. The release ends. Moving on, the Director General of the Gambia Immigration Department continues his nationwide tour of immigration posts across the country. The move is meant to have first-hand information on the state of affairs of the facilities and the challenges immigration personnel are facing in their place of postings. Aissatou Jata Gassama is with the tour party and she sent in this report.
The region was a grand welcoming by the sister forces operating in the area. It's yet another indication of commitment and unity between and among the various security apparatus in the country. The delegation led by Ibu Korea, Commissioner of Immigration in the Upper River region, paid a courtesy call to the regional governor. The brief meeting was attended by service chiefs of various security institutions in Basse. In a meeting at the governor's office, Ibu Korea, Commissioner in the region, said the tour by his high command is meant to boost the morale of personnel on the ground. The tour, he went on, will also avail his DG the opportunity to see the realities on the ground, such as staff welfare and device solutions. Sambaba, Governor of the Upper River region, called on the Immigration High Command to strengthen support of their staff, addressing issues of mobility, improve staff welfare, amongst others.
I need to thank your officers who are at the ID card section. Honestly, they did extremely well under a very tense and pressing condition. Looking at the nature before the elections, issuing of ID cards and whatsoever, there were a lot of noise made, but then they were able to overcome all those things, and today, many people in the region were able to get, ID cards legally.
Like in the other regions, DG Ture presented his department's 10 years revenue performance report to the governor of the region as part of their achievements.
There are so many things that have been progressed from the level of the headquarters coming down to the regions. We are also going to discuss with them our revenue performance for the year under review, which is 2021. Happy to report that the 2021, despite the COVID, Immigration Department was able to accrue $103 million for the central government. And then also, we will talk about our welfare fund. Commissioner Korea spoke about the bus service. The welfare fund, Honorable Governor, on the 11th of October 2018, when I officially took over as Director General of Immigration, the opening balance we found in that account was 36,000 plus. But today, in the welfare account, we have $2.8 million. This is the same with the bus service also. On the same day, Yaju was able to get us the opening account, the money that was there at the time. It was 500,000 plus. But today, we're able to have 1.5 million as savings. So
our second port of call was at the Basse Immigration. Here, the usual quota guard and inspection by the director were observed. Later proceeded with a town hall meeting to expose Gambians on the newly introduced Human Resource Information System. The new system, according to Chief Inspector Musa Sanyang, is a migration from analog to digital. The second to present was Karanglang Jaju. His presentation focused on the activity report. This report shows a positive performance of the Gambia Immigration Department under the leadership of Director Sidi Mukhtar Toure. Our last port of call for day 3 was at Fatoto, where the team held a short meeting with the officers and the elders of the community. Commissioner Operations Jobate, addressing the gathering, said directors have the plight of his staff at heart. This annual tour by DG Toure is also geared towards complementing the efforts of his staff, the sister forces, and the communities in cementing cordial relationship. The tour continues. For the news, I am Aissatou Jata Gassama.
Well, you are watching GRTS News, and I am Essa Sow. We will take a quick break. When we return, we will look at sports.
My dear, how come you are constantly on your phone texting? You must have lots of credit.
Credit. All I need is $5. With the AfriCell SMS Express service, you can send 250 SMSs for $5 only. All you need to do is send SUB to 7050 for $5 only, and you can benefit from 250 SMSs valid for 7 days and enjoy texting.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
Double the data, double the fun. Only on AfriMoney.
Buzz Bundle. To enjoy the Buzz Bundle on AfriMoney, dial *777# and double your data for as low as $10 and get 80 megabytes. And also, receive 3 gigabytes of data for only $150. There's more. Just dial *777# to find out.
All bundles are valid for 7 days. To cash in, visit our nearest AfriMoney agent.
AfriMoney. Send money anywhere, anytime.
Welcome back to GRTS News. Now over to some sports, because the Scorpions of the Gambia are set to take on the indomitable Lions of Cameroon in the quarterfinals of the African Cup of Nations on Saturday afternoon. The Gambia surprised and shocked the world by reaching the last 8 despite playing in the AFCON for the first time. GRTS's Farmer Abaji went out to sound the opinions of Gambians about the crunch encounter, and many of them are quite hopeful of a positive outcome.
These are unusual moments in the country, a massive crowd coming together irrespective of political, ethnic and religious differences to unite and celebrate. Supporters of the Scorpions converge here to celebrate the Gambia's performance in the AFCON. Scorpions fans greeted the team's progression to the Nations Cup quarterfinals with wild celebrations and reunion parties that continue ahead of Saturday's crunch tie with Cameroon. Westfield has always been the center of convergence. The heart of the metropolis attracts a colorful ambience of fans, adoring the signature raid of the Gambia Scorpions. After shocking the world by reaching the last 8 in their debut appearance, the Scorpions now face off against host nation Cameroon. But fans are hopeful that another shock looms large on the card.
We have nothing to lose. As a team, collectively, I mean, we are strong, so we'll maintain that. Alhamdulillah, we will show Cameroonians and the whole world. We are small, but we are pepe. Yeah.
I have very high hope, and I mean, on my people, Gambia, and I think they're gonna have like, they're gonna win. That is 2-0. Yeah, that's what
what you believe.
Yeah, that's what I believe.
I'm very hopeful that the Gambia will win against Cameroon, inshallah. And I have high hopes in the Scorpions, and I believe in them. So thumbs up to everyone. I hope that you guys do your best in the game, Scorpions. We are fully behind you.
They have really impressed us because this is their first African Cup, and they are really doing well. And for me, actually, Musa Barrow is my guy. So yeah, so like, I think tomorrow. He will net. Tomorrow, Musa will net. Yeah. That one for sure. Yeah.
They are playing aggressive. They are not getting intimidated, and they are not laying on their backs. So I do believe they do have a 50-50 chance with Cameroon, and they can come away with a victory. And we are hoping that they beat Cameroon, and we can lift up this trophy. Because if we beat Cameroon, we can beat anybody else.
Optimism always guides a fan's perspective, but Scorpion supporters know that they have a team in top form, and many predict a Gambia win on Saturday.
Well, maybe we'll go home to 2-1 or 2-3, something like that, but we will win.
I can't predict, but I'm certain that the Scorpions are going to win eventually, inshallah.
Me, Gambia, we are going with Ghana's luck. They went in the World Cup. Tomorrow, 1-0. We are going with 9-leg again.
Predict a draw, maybe a 1-1 draw, and then penalty shootout. So I'm hoping my prediction is right, and Gambia will come out in a penalty shootout as a winner.
Inshallah.
Scorpions fans have a special message for Coach Tom and his players ahead of the crucial encounter.
So good luck to Gambia. Go Scorpions, and we are behind you. We love you, and we'll pray, and we'll support you all the way. Win or lose, we are with you. But we are hoping for a win. Thank you.
The only message I have is the way they started, collective. Let them just continue with that, and let them not even give their ears or attention to any other one but to the game. And listen to the coaches very well. They have a very strong coach team, and the team is fine as well. I think they'll win.
Just good luck to all of them, and we'll be proud of them no matter what the outcome. Yes.
And what's your prediction of the game?
Inshallah, I think we'll win. What I have for them is to tell them that no matter the outcome, we're so proud of them, and we're so happy that they made it this far.
Can the Gambia dominate the indomitable Lions of Cameroon, who have made 19 Nations Cup appearances and won the title 5 times? That's solely what these fans wish for, so they can return to Westfield for another roaring celebration. Farmer Abaji, here at TS News.
Well, a great deal of optimism among Gambian fans there. Now we'll head straight to Cameroon, where our reporter MS Jallo brings us the latest from Douala. All is set for tomorrow's quarter-final tie between the Darling Scorpions of the Gambia against the host nation Cameroon. Now, both sides had their final training sessions a short while ago at the magnificent Japoma Stadium, where GRT's MS Jallo sent in this report.
Welcome to Douala City, Cameroon's commercial capital, where in just under 24 hours, the world would be beaming on this magnificent Japoma Stadium, which is set to host the tantalizing quarter-final match between debutants, the Scorpions of the Gambia, and the host nation, Cameroon. And as you can see, this is the Cameroonian players. The Cameroonian players going to have their free-up session, that is their final training session. The Gambian team is also having their final free-up session here at the Japoma Stadium. It is the tantalizing quarterfinal that everyone is talking about at this present time in African football. Because it is a match that pits debutants, the Scorpions of the Gambia, who are making history, who are having a fairy tale campaign in just their debut appearance in the Africa Cup of Nations, coming up against the host country, 5 times African champions, Cameroon, and everyone is watching. There is a lot of media frenzy here in Douala about this game, especially on the Gambian team, as the Gambia continues to pull surprises here in the 33rd edition of the Africa Cup of Nations. Both teams had their final training session ahead of tomorrow's showdown, and Gambian coach Tom Seinfeld is optimistic that his charges are ready to continue their amazing run in the Africa Cup of Nations.
We play Cameroon, very strong team. The host, 40,000 people tomorrow are supporting Cameroon, but we are not afraid of them. We hope our tactical plan will work. They are the favorite. We have to be realistic and we have to respect them, but we many times played against big nations and on the end we could celebrate. So our players, our staff, we would like to stay at least 9 days longer in Cameroon, and tomorrow we battle everything for the country with honor and pride for all Gambians in the world.
The Gambia's Belgian coach maintains his side's underdog status in the tournament, but believes that his side will give Cameroon a stern test come tomorrow here at the Japoma Stadium.
We have to face them, and our tactical plan hopefully is ready. We have qualities to change the game. We have a lot of speed, and I believe in our players. I believe that we have the quality to make it very difficult for Cameroon. It will be very important the first 30-40 minutes not to concede a goal. I expect there will be a storm in the beginning of the game. Of Cameroon. If we keep the 0-0 on halftime, our chances are growing.
And it is the same feeling among the players. The mood in the camp is very, very optimistic. The players look very upbeat and they are ready to continue their amazing run in the Africa Cup of Nations.
For us, it's just to be confident and believe in ourselves and think about the people in the nation that is supporting us. And yeah, we're looking forward to it. We're all excited. You can see the boys, everyone is happy, everybody is confident. So we're looking forward to the game tomorrow. Tomorrow's game is not gonna be easy. But by God's grace, I think with the team, with this team, with the heart we are having for each other, I think we are gonna pick 3 points.
Well, all is now set for the mouth-watering quarter-final tie between the Scorpions of the Gambia, who are making all the headlines for the right reason in their debut appearance in the Africa Cup of Nations, against the host country, the indomitable Lions of Cameroon. Here at the magnificent Japoma Stadium, set for a very, very crunch encounter tomorrow, Saturday, 5 p.m. in Cameroon, and that would be 4 p.m. in Banjul.
Nothing changed. Just focus, go out and enjoy our game, because we know that it's going to be difficult, but we will just go out and compete against them and enjoy. It's football, 90 minutes. If it's more than 90 minutes, we are also ready. We are well prepared for this game tomorrow, inshallah.
It's a game that that we all have to be ready, and it's the game of our lives, because we have never reached this stage of African football, so we are all ready and set, and mentally, physically.
Yeah, we've been working hard since the last game. You know, we're preparing for the big game coming up. So yeah, we're all ready, and we're ready to fight tomorrow. You know, so yeah, we're hoping we can get to the semi-final and go again.
Fingers crossed here in Cameroon and also back home in the Gambia. Can the Scorpions sting the indomitable Lions and book a place in the last 4 of the Africa Cup of Nations? Well, they have done it against Tunisia, against Mali, and against Guinea-Conakry. Now, the indomitable Lions of Cameroon, the host nation, awaits or stands between the Gambia and a place in the semi-finals. Mohamed Jallo, GRT Sports at the Japoma Stadium in Douala, Cameroon. Welcome to
there from our man in Douala, Mamadou S. Jallo, and we wish the Scorpions good luck tomorrow. And the place to watch the game is here on GRTS. Time now to take our second break. When we return, the news will continue right here. Welcome back. Now, in Ethiopia, fresh fighting resumed in the north, with push to launch a military operation afar. The warring factions have been engaged in heavy fighting since the war broke out between threatening relief missions. Media reported that the fight is between the TPLF and the federal government in Addis Ababa. Well, for more on that, we have a CGTN report for you.
And counter accusations are coming both from the TPLF side and the Ethiopian government side. As you've said, the conflict has resumed. This can be reported now, but it is in the Afar regional state between the Afar Special Force and the TPLF fighters themselves. The Afar regional state has officially reported that TPLF fighters have been firing machine guns and also using heavy weaponry to attack different locations, including civilian locations in the Afar regional state, killing perhaps scores of people. The TPLF is saying that they are responding an attack waged by the Special Force of Afar, so they have continued the fighting. But in the middle of it all, the problem now is the humanitarian activity is being disrupted. So in general terms, what we can confirm is, although war has subsided in almost all areas in the northern part of Ethiopia, which stayed for more than perhaps a year, there is now a beginning of yet another round of a conflict between the Afar regional state and also the Tigray regional state fighters.
There have been hopes grown of a complete end to the conflict. What is the progress so far on the peace process led by the AU envoy Olusegun Obasanjo?
So, Penina, there are two ways of explaining the peace process. One is a domestic initiative, which is called an all-inclusive national dialogue. This is the government's initiative, which is now under preparation as per the Parliament's endorsement of the rules of engagement. And almost all parties, including those in the Tigray regional state, are invited to take part in this dialogue, a national dialogue, which may or may not include TPLF itself, but there are also other opposition political parties based in the Tigray regional state that are expected to take part. The other one is, as we've said, the African Union initiative, led by former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo himself. President Obasanjo has been, undertaking shuttle diplomacy between Addis Ababa and Mekelle, the headquarters of TPLF, that is, speaking the rebels and also the federal government, including Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed himself. There were proposals the last time we've heard that the government and the TPLF leadership was expecting from Mr. Obasanjo so that he can show the way that, according to him, what would be a viable or trusted way of bringing these two parties for a round table discussion. But so far as we know, that initiative seems to be stalled somewhere. We have to hear from the African Union what they have to explain about this, but so far there is no progress from their side. But the internal dialogue, the domestic initiative itself, seems to be happening anytime soon, as the government freed opposition leaders from prison, including those which belong to the TPLF, and others are also considering ways of engaging with the government. So the peace initiative has two phases. The domestic one seems to be progressing. The one from the African Union side, we have to wait and hear. The accusation.
Well, CGTN's Jerome Chala there in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Now moving on, the United States called for a meeting of the UN Security Council to discuss the situation at the Russia-Ukraine border, seeking to apply more pressure on Russia to negotiate its concerns. The United States and Germany on Thursday warned Russia that the Nord Stream 2 pipeline was at stake if Russian troops crossed the border. We have details of that in this report.
Russian military drills on the border with Ukraine. These are the scenes keeping the West on its toes. Yet, Russia has repeatedly said it has no intention of invading Ukraine, and that even the thought of war between the two nations was unacceptable. A position also echoed by residents in the streets of Moscow. I am not ready to go to war with a fraternal people. We are Slavic. It's not acceptable. There are no threats from the territory of the Ukrainian state. Therefore, I believe it doesn't make sense. I understand that there's a risk of a full-scale war, but I believe that the parties will manage to negotiate all their disagreements and come to a consensus. But after the US and NATO rejected Moscow's main demands, including barring Ukraine from ever joining NATO, everyone is waiting to see how President Vladimir Putin will respond. So far, the Kremlin has offered a glimmer of hope that a de-escalation may be possible by keeping the door open for further talks. Concerning the document replying to Russia's demands, there is a response that allows us to consider the beginning of a serious conversation, but on secondary issues. There is no positive reaction on the main issue in this document. Another chance for diplomacy will come next month, when Russian, French, Ukrainian and German delegates will meet in Berlin for talks.
Well, viewers, that was all we had time for in this edition of the news. But before we go, a recap of our top stories. The National Association of Cooperative Credit Union, the Gambia NACUG, held a day's stakeholder awareness forum to strengthen the fight against poverty. Saving the lives of the underprivileged, a humanitarian organization called ML Foundation is preparing to fly some children to Turkey for medical treatment at no cost to the families of the patients. And in sports, the Scorpions of the Gambia are set to take on the indomitable Lions of Cameroon in the quarterfinals of the Africa Cup of Nations on Saturday afternoon. And away from home in Ethiopia, fresh fighting has resumed in the north with push to launch military operations afar. The United States has called for a meeting of the UN Security Council to discuss the situation at the Russia-Ukraine border. Well, that was all we had time for in this edition of the news. Thanks for the pleasure of your company. We'll be back here at 2200 hours GMT.
Here are a few steps. Go to the nearest Afri agent. Tell them how much you want to deposit. Give the agent your number and the cash. You will receive an SMS notification from 777 confirming the deposit. To check and confirm your balance, dial *777#. Select option 7, my account. Select option 1 to check